Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti. I am MrPhotographer.com. In this video, I'm going to show you two new filters that are in Luminar 4 that will allow you to process a portrait in under a minute. You'll start out with an image that looks like this and end up with an image that looks like this. We're going to begin with this image. This is a raw file taken straight from camera. No processing has been done on it at all. Now, if we go to the Luminar 4 Edit panel, you'll notice there's a new workspace. This little smiley face is the Portrait workspace. And inside of the Portrait workspace are three different filters. And I want to talk about the first two, AI Skin Enhancer and Portrait Enhancer. I'm going to go to Skin Enhancer first, and you can see that's a single slider. If I take this slider and I move it to the right, it will process her skin. I'm going to move it pretty high for this demonstration. I'm going to move it to 80. Now you can see it did process her skin, but I want to make note of something here. I'm going to zoom in, and I want you to notice the pores on her skin. Her pores are intact. It is not a blur filter. It does not blur the skin. It really is a high-end skin retouching filter. A retoucher in Photoshop that is very experienced, I guarantee would take them at least 3 to 5 minutes to do what I just did with that single slider. Now notice too that it only affects the skin on her face. It didn't affect her eyes, her eyelashes, her eyebrows, her lips, her teeth, the scarf around her head. If there was a background, it wouldn't affect anything in the background. It wouldn't affect her clothing. It wouldn't affect her hair. It just knows where the skin of her face is and affects that. Now, if she had any blemishes, you would check this little box, AI Skin Defects Removal, and that will remove blemishes as well. So, right there, I mean, you save a lot of time. But there's another filter. This is that Portrait Enhancer filter. Now, we'll open that, and this one has a lot more sliders. First of all, it has a face light. Those of you that watch my videos know that I often say that when you take portraiture, make sure that your subject's face are bright. Now, sometimes you don't have a light with you, or you don't have a reflector, or the lighting conditions are such that you just can't make your subject's face bright in camera, so you need to do it in post. It's very easy here. Just move this to the right, and you can see it just brightens up her face, adds a glow to her face. If there was red eye from a flash, we'd remove it there with that slider. We could whiten the eye whites with that slider. We could enhance her irises with this slider. And one thing I found astounding is it knows where her eyes are. You know, some applications will have an overlay, and you'd have to adjust the overlay to the corners of her eyes, the upper and lower eyelids. You'd have to adjust an overlay for her teeth and for her lips, so the application knows where to apply the adjustments. Not with Luminar 4 and the Portrait Enhancer filter. It knows where to apply the adjustments automatically. Dark circle removal. If she had dark circles under her eyes, we'd move that slider. We could slim her face if we wanted to, but I don't want to. Enlarge her eyes. I often mention too, with portraiture, that you should do everything you can in camera to make sure that your subject's eyes are prominent. And one trick Photoshop retouchers often do is they will enlarge the eyes artificially. Well, you could do that here. You could, of course, just make them really big, and again, it really knows where her eyes are. So I will enlarge them very slightly. Eyebrow improve. It knows where eyebrows are and darkens those. We could add saturation to her lips, some redness to her lips. We could darken them a little bit, make it look like she has a little lipstick on. And we could whiten her teeth. Now, if I wasn't talking, I guarantee I could do all these adjustments in less than a minute. In Photoshop, it would take me probably at least 10 minutes. And I'm very experienced in Photoshop. So for most people, it's probably going to take them a little longer than 10 minutes. So this is a real time saver. And again, it does a great job. It really knows where all the different parts of her face are, applies them to the right part, doesn't affect the hair. When it doesn't need to be affected, it doesn't affect clothing, the background, or anything like that. Now, for our next image we're going to work on. We're going to work on a portrait of a male. This happens to be my youngest son, Joe. And I didn't do anything in camera to make it flattering. I had kind of a light off to the side. It was a rather harsh light. I wanted to kind of bring out any skin defects, as they call it, as I could, just to demonstrate the power of this application. Now I'm going to go to the AI Skin Enhancer first, and I'm going to move that fairly high again. Again, I probably in real life wouldn't be moving these this high, but I want you to see the work or the job these filters do. So I have it at 80, and I'm going to zoom in, and I just want you to notice that his pores, again, are still intact. So it's not blurring the skin. You can see this is very, very sharp. It really just retouches the skin. Now, for blemishes, you would click this box here. And because he has a couple moles, light moles, it removed those. So there's like before and then after. So it takes away those moles. So that's optional, whether or not you want to remove a mole or not. So we'll leave it checked. So we're done with the skin. Now we'll go to the portrait enhancer, and I'll brighten up his face a touch. There's no red eye to worry about. I'll whiten his eye white a little bit, although they are fairly white. I'll enhance his eyes with that slider. His eyes are very, very light blue, so that's actually very natural look. Dark eye removal, move that to the right a little bit. Don't need to slim his face. I will enlarge his eyes very slightly, just a little bit. Darken his eyebrows a little bit. I'm going to just add a little lip saturation, a little redness, a little darkening, and his teeth aren't showing. So let's bring up this bar. There's before, after, before, after. I mean, that to me is incredible. Take that away, and again I'm going to zoom in, and I just want you to see that it really isn't blurring anything. See, it's really very natural. If there's anything it missed, like you can see there's little bits of dry skin there, you could use the eraser tool to remove those. But again, you save so much time just doing it this way. And I could do this as well. There's before, and there's after, and there's before, and there's after. So those two filters, when I got my copy of Luminar 4, I was so impressed with those two filters, and they're going to save me so much time. And I think they'll save most people that do anything with photography and portraits. It's going to save them a lot of time. Now, in the description below this video will be a link to my code of ethics statement. Please go down there and read that. No one is paying me to do this video, but I am an affiliate for Skylum Software, the creator of Luminar, and I'd like you to understand what it means when I'm an affiliate. Also, since Luminar is the making of this video, it's not released yet. They're having a pre-sale, and you could get it way cheaper if you buy it in the pre-sale, and there'll be links for that in the description below this video as well. Thank you, everyone who watches my videos. I truly do appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.